Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Sunderman,
I'm Captain Soja still.
and this is even more of Euro Truck Simulator 2. Alright, we were talking Star Trek. We were in the middle of talking about Demon Blood and Star Trek Voyager, like, worst episode. What were you saying, Captain Soja?
Yeah, the Twi'leks?
Tuvix.
Tuvix. One of the worst parts about that was every episode, Janeway harps about choice. You know, I gotta respect my crewmates, what their choices are. And Tuvix wanted to live, and it's like, no, that's not okay. It's like, wow, it's one thing when you throw the Prime Directive out the window because, you know, it's an option to do. You're like, oh yeah,
in the grand scheme of things,
so much.
In the grand scheme of things, I do get it for the purposes of her, like, that. Okay, here's the thing. We're talking about how, like, Voyager doesn't get to have any of the impact because everything's got to be episode contained and end. So
yeah.
There's a couple of things that happen all about the Tuvix thing that really accentuate the problem. One, killing Tuvix to bring back your crew members. Two, the episode has to wrap up. And three, none of this would be a problem if you weren't forced to do episodic, because on the one hand, I can understand what Janeway's saying. She's like, we don't have that many crew members. It's like two of them have died. You're one person, but, like, I need them both for their particular skills. Like, if we had indicated that Tuvix has lost something in the translation, like, isn't as good at certain things that they were good at before because of the merging rather than just being the best of both, like, that would have been a little bit more indicative. And, like,
was literally the best of both.
Yeah, and so I understand Janeway doing it, but at the same time, it doesn't get to have the impact because not only does she kill a crew member, does she never again have to dwell on it, but nobody ever talks about it again. Like, I feel like that's the kind of
talk about it.
I feel like
they
that's
don't have a closer bond or anything. Like, if they had a closer bond and it's like kind of brought up, I'd be like, okay, yes.
I'm trying to remember if I don't think 7 of 9 was on the ship yet, because I figure, like, the next time you'd mention it would be when Jerry Ryan is playing 7 in, like, Picard or something like that, and she, like, yeah, this reminds me of such and such that happened with Tuvix. It would be the only other time anybody referenced the thing happening again, of, like, type of deal. Like, I don't know. Alright, I need to map view for Strasbourg. I need to purchase where's my purchase garage? I've gone blind. Where is it? Garage purchase. Okay. Okay, so Paris to Strasbourg. Where is Strasbourg? Is that Germany? Strasbourg. Never mind, I found it.
But yeah, I agree though. Voyager would have been so much better if they weren't forced to be episodic.
Yeah, now that I know that's definitely, like, corporate meddling, it upsets me a lot more, because I'm just like, oh, so they had the idea to make it as good as I wanted, and you were like, no, don't give Hunterman or the rest of the fans what they want, do what we want, because we don't think the fans will like that. And I'm like, yeah, because that worked for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep, and the worst thing is, you know, we've got Discovery, we've got, you know, Strange New Worlds, etc., and those are all serialized. Like, everything that happens matters going forward.
Well, Strange New Worlds is the beautiful hybrid, because it's episodic, but the character development still goes from episode to episode. It's the best of of both worlds. Like,
yeah.
And I would in my thoughts, like, you could do Voyager Lost Tales or something like that. Like, you could do like a spin-off of a spin-off, and you could do a show that's like, the reason that everything seemed fine on Voyager was because during all the between times you didn't see time progressing, really bad shit was happening. Like, if they went back and tried to, like, fill in the gap with, like, some flashbacks, do, like, a mini-series. Do, like, 6 episodes of, like, cool shit you didn't know actually happened on Voyager, but we swear it did.
Yeah.
Poor Voyager. Okay, so Modern Trek, not that we can talk about it on stream per se, but like, how caught up are you? So you're Lower Decks Season 2. Your Discovery Season 2?
I believe so. Oh, I finished Season 2. Because Season 2 ends with the, they have to wipe character from the records.
Yes, and I think that's long enough ago that we can say that safely. Hello, all this traffic that's preventing me from pulling out. Yeah, Season 2, so we're going into Season 5. It's 2022, so we should be good. But I don't think we can go further than Season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I started Season 3, but I don't believe I finished it. Like the cat happened, and
The cat happened.
they were still using the spore. They started using the spore drive because it was, you know, the faster, or more accurately, the reliable way of traveling. And I also liked how they removed the spore drive from history. Basically, that was well done, because I was worried about how they were going to try to manage that.
Yeah,
you know, at the end of Season 2.
I was worried about it, but
we have to wipe all of Discovery from existing.
I had, by the time we were getting to the end of, like, Season 1, I had concerns, but by the time we were doing Season 2 and it was clearly we were doing a time travel or something arc, I was like, oh, we're going to make it not count, but it's going to count, but not really, but it's going to kind of count. Okay.
Yep, and they're like,
and then they did it, and I was like, fuck yeah.
I was like, ooh, that doesn't really quite match up with history, but it's close enough that it could just be, you know, the winner's right to history kind of deal.
Yes. I mean, let's see. So you haven't seen Strange New Worlds?
No.
Well, I don't want to say because it just happened, but I will. What I will vaguely say is that it's clear that for the people who know what happened, they know what happened, and they can talk amongst themselves about what happened. There, I said it without saying.
Yeah.
And that's good that they continue. I was worried they were just never going to reference it, but they nipped that in the bud real quick.
Yeah, but as long as they're not putting it in their, you know, their daily logs, it's not a problem. Yeah.
In fact, I like Strange New Worlds a lot, but I watched the first season. I went into the first season with one giant red question mark about some of the events that were going to happen. A couple of smaller question marks, but one giant red question mark, and that giant red question mark is just like in a lazy boy. And I'm like, I can't believe that didn't come up in the first season. Like, it's right there. How do you not? I want to know more about that thing right there. And it would be in the trailer, so I could talk about it if you'd seen it. But like, if you haven't, I don't want to. But like, it's bothering me. I'm like, give me my season 2 and give it now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what you're referencing. So.
Yeah, because if I pointed out what it was, then you and everybody else would begin to know that it didn't get answered in season 1 if you hadn't watched it. So I've kind of smacked myself around, like, trying to not spoiler that.
Yep. Trying to think of other stuff that's you know, been out long enough that it's past spoiler time.
Well, I mean, when was Endgame? Was Endgame 3 years ago yet?
Probably.
Can you ask a device? I can't. I my hands are on the wheel.
Yeah, I'll check.
When did? And in case, I mean, we can talk Marvel stuff, everything before.
When 2019?
Should have been May, I hope.
Let's see.
This is how much I try and go out of my way for you people, lovely people watching with the spoilers. Can't just...
That was a 22nd film.
Yes.
April. Okay. So yeah, it's technically past the 3-year mark.
All right, past the 3-year mark, so we can talk everything Marvel up to Endgame. I thought the time travel in Endgame was greatly, like, beautifully executed.
Oh yeah, super good. I like that they use that as a tie-in for, you know, Loki, for example.
Okay,
You know, like, oh, yeah.
Loki should be 2020 though, but yes,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
we can say that the Loki from Endgame is the Loki that you would see in the show, and then I think that's about as far as we could take that. Yes.
yeah, because what happened in Endgame still affects current universe. Yeah.
Man,
My only problem with that is that kind of goes against other movies and such. But yeah, it's definitely way too soon in the spoiler stuff. So yeah, moving on from that.
yeah, well, okay. So here's the thing. Endgame to me does have one unresolved time travel question that I think people were like, "Oh, it's fine. No, you just do this and it's fine." And I'm like, I don't think it's fine, guys. I don't. Which
Yeah.
is Captain on the bench. I don't think that makes
Yeah.
sense. I still don't think
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, Captain going back in time. Like, I'm like, but that causes paradox. We got timeline split. What's going on here?
Like, because okay, the only way it works, to the best of my understanding of their version of time travel, is if the implication is one of two things. One, Cap was in the background of everything that happened in the MCU and didn't interact for all those decades because he already jumped back to the point in time that is our point in time. Actually, I guess it's both things simultaneously. So,
Well, I mean,
him
to be
jumping
fair,
back
he could
in
be
time.
he could be sitting on the bench. That works because he knows it's going to work out without his interference.
Yeah, but every time you jump to another timeline, you jump a skew of your own, and the past becomes the present, and all that good stuff. So the only way it works out is if Cap going back in time happened from some other timeline that would have been bunk, but sitting in this timeline from that other timeline is our Cap. So this isn't our Cap. This is a Cap just like our Cap that stuck around for decades and lived a life. And
But he would have also been aware of how everything was supposed to end out.
yes, but he would also be living with the knowledge that he had a universe that he came from that was boned because he didn't go back to it. And our universe just so happens to be the universe that he sits in from that other universe to make sure this universe turns out okay. Is the only way it works. But then again, that would, without saying how, that would potentially
That would be a
conflict
that'd be a
with things
paradox
that
have
we
to
talk
work
about
out.
from Loki.
Yes. It'd
Ye-
be a branching path.
Well, okay. The thing about the branches are fine if they don't go too far. So the one thing that they talk about in Loki, that's the one thing that's very sacred. That they talk about in Loki, that thing, is clearly made up of a bundle of a couple of similar things.
Well, the problem with that is they released a movie with a title in it that goes against Loki.
Which movie? Movie titles are fine, I think.
All right, Doctor Strange in the universe of
The
Multiverse
multiverse.
of Madness.
No, because Multiverse of Madness comes out after the events of Loki. So that actually, you don't understand.
Which is-
After
yeah,
Loki is what Loki, the events of Endgame directly into Loki is what allows all of the things that have ever been Marvel shows ever to
To
have a
finally work
continuity that counts.
yes,
That's-
it was
Including, and I didn't realize that the universe ended in X-Men.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the universe ended in X-Men 92, but apparently it ended in 96. but we're still getting a sequel series to that, and I'm like, so that's going to be MCU, right? I mean, Marvel. It's going to be MMU. It's going to Marvel Multiverse. Wait, no, I replaced the wrong letter there, but in any event.
MMV, yeah. Yeah, but so Endgame was really just Disney bought Marvel. That's what Endgame really was.
Okay, so Endgame is like when I designed my last Werewolf the Apocalypse LARP game, with the belief that I was doing time travel stuff, but the since it was existing in wait, hold on, I need to take this exit. Erp. Since it was existing in a setting that didn't have time travel, my presumption is that the character I was doing time travel stuff with was crazy. That was just the go-to. She's crazy, and she just thought she was doing the thing, but she wasn't really doing the thing, and she was crazy. But then things happened between my group and the big national group, Underground Theater, that made it so that we were going to split off and make our own game. But I designed my game in such a way that that transition wasn't going to be a big deal. And as a result, what ended up happening was, when some event that happened that actually really happened with this character, I don't want to drive at night, happened with this character, it turns out the character wasn't crazy, and now we're just in a different continuity, but all of the stuff we've done up to this point counts. Yeah. And that's basically Endgame. Around the time the Fox merger finishes, is just, I believe, happens to coincide with the capacity to make everything else count, and it just works out that way. Kind of like too recently, but we'll just say the end of the last Spider-Man movie makes it so that we can go without talking about Spider-Man for a little time.
Oh, I really need to watch that, yeah.
Oh, I have it at 4K if you want to borrow it.
I can just watch it on Disney Plus now.
You can?
I was told by somebody that they have all the Marvel stuff now.
Yeah, but I don't think they have... Whoops. I don't believe they have the Sony Marvel stuff still. I don't think they have any Spider-Man. I mean, I don't think they have any Marvel movie Spider-Man. They have Spider-Man cartoons. I could be wrong. But, I got sick of not being able to watch Spider-Man movies whenever I felt like it, so I ended up getting them for Christmas.
Far From Home's on Hulu.
Really?
Yep.
Alright.
Which Disney owns, so...
I mean, I think, yeah, majority stake.
Yeah.
Okay. I've reached the point where I'm not going to be expanding a garage until I can do all the things that garage does all at once. Let me do the math on that. 280,000 euros, and then roughly 100,000 euros for 5 occupants. So, let's say 800,000 euros is my new breaking point for being able to expand. Because it's just... I don't feel like I'm doing it incessantly, but the money is rolling in so frequently that if I stop every 30 minutes to 40 minutes to do it, it's taking a moment of time to go away and do the thing.
Yeah, so basically every time you hit €1 million, go do a garage up.
Yeah. Because it's like 97 for a truck, for the crappiest truck. Or not the crappiest, I'm sorry, the cheapest truck, which might be the crappiest truck. And then it's like 2,000 for hiring an employee, and it's 280,000 for a garage. So yeah, no, it's 800,000 should be enough.
Yeah. Well, if you wait till you hit $1 million, you can get a nicer truck if you want to.
Well, my hopeful plan, because I have plenty of time left in this game, because even as I keep playing it, more expansions come out. My hopeful plan is to make a very nice truck for about 200,000 euros that will become the new standard truck, so that would be double the cost of the current truck. But importantly, I'm looking into a freeware application that would let me spend some artistic time putting like Improvision Entertainment logos and stuff on the trucks, and I would rather be seeing that in my garages if I was going to be putting in nicer trucks. Like, I'd like to put in, like, make a truck that I'm going to be driving and that all my employees are going to be driving, and it's got, like, the IE circle on the side and the Full Improvision Entertainment logo across, like, the back of the cab or something. Like, right now you just constantly see it on screen. Like, that would be nice.
That would be kind of cool.
And since it's a cosmetic mod, it won't... I actually don't think anything in the game actually interrupts the achievements because it's before developers really started hammering home the whole, oh, you didn't do it this way, so you don't get the achievement. Like, I don't understand why... Side note to poor Stellaris, which I love, any of the mods that... Like, I think there should be a level of mod which is acceptable to being able to keep your achievements. Like in Stellaris, I think it's... If you build your races so that all you've really done is change the portrait, but they use all the in-game, like, perks and negatives and stuff that are part of the game, and all you've really done is change the visual look or added more flags that they can have. Like, I feel like that should be totally acceptable to keeping the achievement, but unfortunately the game just isn't so. At one point, I put a lot of time into, like, making a custom class appearance that I was going to use for my runs, which, you know, I only don't do because I want to get the achievements. Like, at this point, I have, like, 70% of the achievements in Stellaris, and a lot of those achievements are tens of hours away in one particular run, and oh well, you can't get it now, you missed it. Like,
yeah, they're very grind heavy.
So I would hate to miss getting a rare achievement because I actually did the thing that time to get it. Like, that would suck.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel you on that. That'd make me pretty upset too. Like, I downloaded the Downfall for Slay the Spire, but it's a completely separate game as far as all your achievements and everything go. I'm like, well, I mean, other than if I decide I want to go through and try to, you know, fully beat the game with one of my runs, I don't have any reason to run that versus Slay the Spire, where I can get my couple of missing achievements.
I mean, it's fine in games you have no expectation that you're ever gonna unlock everything, or like FTL has basically a DLC that I don't even know if FTL has achievements, but like the DLC is like FTL more, like 400% more FTL. That's what this DLC, like, that's what, not what the DLC, well, that's what this mod is. This user created content just adds more and more massive amounts of content to the game. And like, I look at that and I go, well, I'm not winning at FTL, so it would be better to have more game than it is to like worry about achievements.
For example, I am at 48% of the achievements.
Well, what are your prospects though? Like, I look at Cult of the Lamb and I'm like, I could do that, but I look at something like, I got a buggy achievement in Jak 2, and I'm like, I'd have to replay the entire game legit to get that buggy achievement.
Yeah, so like for Slay of the Spire, my chance of actually getting 100% is pretty close to 0.
I kind of feel that way about, like, would you agree that your chance of getting 100% in, say, Monster Hunter World is probably also 0?
Since so much of it is RNG.
So much of it is RNG, and you have to do things like fill out the max size and min size for every monster in the beastie area. And I looked at that, I was like, oh, so you're telling me your achievements are doable? Like,
I mean, it's doable, but it's so RNG heavy because they don't have enough of the special quests. Like, because I thought for that they'd do like the special quest with the old Monster Hunters, where you'll have quests where it's, oh yeah, just go hunt this monster several times. By the way, it's either going to get larger or smaller every time you hunt it. Okay, well I just need to, you know, hunt it 4 times and I'll have this tiny ass monster I have to go kill.
yeah, or, I'm sorry, what just happened? Why are we recomputing? Hold on. What did you just... I changed lanes for a second, they were like recomputing. I'm like, recomputing? Oh, I was supposed to take that... well, alright, I can make it work. Oh, alright, hold on one second.
Like, I remember, you know, back in the day fighting a Kut-Ku that was smaller than my hammer.
Well, if they had something like, okay, if they had something that was in town, even if they added in like the DLC expansion, that was just like, oh, if you use this particular food that you eat before you go into the area, that will guarantee that the monster that comes after you will be bigger or smaller, then it wouldn't be a thing. Then you just have to, like, you could take the RNG out of it and you'd be like, oh, okay, I've unlocked the ability to go after this achievement in a reasonable, non-praying to RNGesus style way.
I mean, even if it didn't guarantee you crown size, it's just like, okay, you now have normal or small is the chart we're rolling on. You know, I'd be okay. I'd been okay with that.
Oh, yeah, okay, so you're saying if you just improved the RNG, so you made it so it was more likely that you would get some, like, a size you'd be aiming at.
Yeah, or if they did, more special events where I could go for, it's like, oh, we're gonna run an event where all monsters this weekend will be, small.
Yeah.
All monsters will be large. I'd be like, okay, cool. I just gotta make sure I play, during this time frame. Okay, forced play. Doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, or even know that it's a certain weekend a month, or that they add fights to. I'm sorry, what is happening? Sorry, this map is not making any sense to me right now. You want me to get back on the highway and then get back off the highway, and then you're taking crazy pills. Why are you taking crazy pills? Alright, you know what? We're on a magical trucking adventure. It's fine. So you want me to get off here. Magical, yeah, it's like a magical tank adventure, except less people explode. Not to say no people explode, it's just less people explode. Yeah, it decided that the fastest way to do what I was doing was to get back on the highway and go back the way I came. I was like, I don't agree, but also I'm talking, so it's fine. Man, World was the best-selling Capcom game ever.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, is? I don't think Rise did better than it.
It didn't.
Because I think because Rise only came out on one system. Oh, speaking of kind of in the same boat of, like, Rise coming out on one system, we gotta be getting a new Nintendo soon, right? Like,
so.
We're getting another Zelda, and the last 3 times that we got a new Zelda, it came out cross-generational, right? I think.
Maybe.
Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild. What was before Skyward Sword?
Mask?
Majora's Mask? No. Would have been.
Well, I guess Quidditch Cap or whatever, and then
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like the 3D ones that are all the same. Was it Twilight Princess?
maybe. Yep, I'm in Twilight Princess. Because that one's
So
split
maybe it would actually only been the last. So maybe it's only the last 2. I don't think Twilight Princess came out on more than one system, but Skyward Sword definitely did, and Breath of the Wild definitely did. But also, like, the Switch is the little system that could, and man, it's done everything it can.
Speaking of Skyward Sword, did you watch the exhibition thing at Summer Games for
Yes. And for the
Ocarina
purposes
of
of
Time.
spoilers, we will consider that trailer.
Yeah. That was man.
Everybody was confused about like why it wasn't aired live in Europe for being polite to the Queen being dead, and like what the fuck? And then when they did the title reveal, like, oh, that makes sense now when it didn't before.
Yeah. But yeah, that and they're like, no, this is all in game. This is actually there. I was like, is it? And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, it is, but it is some super manipulation.
Well, I mean,
Which was really cool. They could do so much with the, the game.
man, when you set your streaming stuff up correctly, you can do all kinds of things. Look how long we've been running off of Grand Theft Auto 5 because of the way it bleeds in stream. Hold on, can I just drive over this grass? I can.
Looks like
Excuse me.
just like real life.
That's true. That's true. I'm here. I might as well do some repairs, but it should have been. Was this? Did I grab this truck dealership? Yeah, this should have been man. It should have gotten tagged. Please get off of the. No, the here, give me this question mark. I wants it. What the hell? There, I visited the dealership. Does that work? Why is the question mark not tagged on my map? I'm on top of it. There, it's colored now. I was like, what the fuck? I'm rubbing my butt in its face. What is going wrong right now? That was an oddly precise question mark pickup. That's why I don't trust those things.
Yeah, I wish we could get more multiplayer stuff going. Like we do like a Jackbox on stream and stuff like that again. I know you did that at one point.
Yeah, my cutoff is really having for Jackbox. I think you got to have at least 4 other players. I think 3 is maybe barely acceptable, but preferably at least 4. And I maintain it's right there. So if anybody wanted to do Jackbox right now, well, the stream says we have 4 viewers, so we'd need 1 more person. Like earlier we had like 7, and I could like pause what I'm doing, and we could do that, and I would be fine. Like, yeah, I just don't have enough viewers. Otherwise, because it's just
Justice was like, oh, I could totally play that. I was like, yes, you could. You don't even have to be able to watch the stream with your poor internet because you can just play the game.
yeah, it's a little bit more jank when you can't hear like what the commentator is saying because you don't know like when he's talking you out of stuff or like who's winning in the last fight because you can't visually see the race at the end for the body or for the soul, I should say. Like,
well, no, but I mean, you could play like Quiplash or something like that, and it'd still be good.
Oh yeah, true. But the answer to the question is getting more people in exclamation point Discord in the stream chat there. Getting more people in the Discord, so they can show up in the gathering hub, so that we can gather more people to play more games. Because I have historically preempted like breaking news style. Oh, I was gonna do this stream, but I have this super rare opportunity to play multiplayer with other people. Let's get it on. When we played Murder Trivia Party, it was in the middle of a run of Euro Truck Simulator, I believe.
It might have been, yeah.
Like, I managed to finish the run I was on. We played, but man, we only had like 4 or 5 people for like 4 or 5 attempts, and each attempt is, like not long. It's the length of a break at work. It's like 13 minutes or something.
Oh, how did Soul Reaver do on your poll?
The last poll?
I think
Wait,
it was the last poll, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Horror Elements poll, I think.
Yeah.
Well, since it is part of dialogue, I can double check that real quick. Wait, I don't have the poll open? Weird. I mean, I wouldn't have that poll open, but like normally somebody said they voted earlier, so I was gonna check that too. Horror Elements. Let's see. What was Soul Reaver's? Oh wait, actually it would be in announcements. You could have checked, but in any event, Oh, hold on. I have to actually search because I put it in Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Got 1 first place vote, putting it in. Well, that's not accurate to the placement. Putting it in
It only got one vote.
19th place. It tied with 6
Oh.
other games for 19th place.
Oh, man. It was a good game, but those controls were pretty janky.
Yeah, I'd be
Run
playing.
back
I'd be
to
playing
it.
the high resolution version of the Dreamcast version that you can get bumping in emulation up to 60 FPS. That's what I'd be playing.
Yeah, that's what I've got. The PC version that you can emulate bump. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have new votes, and weirdly, the placement has not changed, and fucking Tetris is out in front with 358 points. I didn't know people like Tetris. This is news to Hunterman. Hunterman loves Tetris.
I was gonna say Tetris is fun to watch, especially to talk to somebody during, because you can just mindlessly talk.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Like it's insane.
So, here's the thing: if I get Truck Simulator running on like a separate Windows box, so that it's streaming off of the Mac, please let me over. Please let me over. My turn signal is on. Do not run up me. I do not want another fine. Thank you. If I can get it so that basically the game is active on one system, because I can't do multiple things on this computer while I'm doing Euro Truck Simulator. I can only do it and glance over at a window containing other information. That's how I can do things. And I have button combinations that let me do things to Streamlabs while I'm playing the game, which makes the cuts a lot more seamless for the YouTube. But
What kind of specs are you needing? I have my old box that nobody uses. I have my more recent / my old video card in it, and that'd bump it up.
Okay, it needs to be able to support a Xbox One or Series X controller.
Okay, that's not a problem, I don't think.
Oh, what Windows is it running? It should be running at least 10, I think.
Oh, might have XP on that one.
Okay. And does it have HDMI output? Because if it has HDMI output, I can plug it into my AverMedia, thus solving that problem.
Let me pull out the video card from the box of the new video card.
Those are the two, things off the top of my head that I definitely need to pay attention to. The ability for it to do output of HDMI, and it supports controller. And that's...
I had a controller on it, so that wasn't a problem. Controller support's, kind of a given on everything. Let's check this little beast here. Yeah, it's got a one HDMI port.
Okay.
Mini HDMI, so I'd have to go from mini to full-size HDMI.
Okay. Basically, it's increasing failure points is kind of the problem. Oh wait, hold on. No. You mean mini DisplayPort?
No, it looks like a really small HDMI port. It says HDMI, but it looks small.
There are, to the best of my knowledge, there are not sizes of HDMI. HDMI is one size fits all.
I don't know. It says HDMI. It just doesn't look like it's definitely not the right size for HDMI.
Okay. Can you link a picture of it into currently offline and I can check between recordings? What does it look like? Is it fat T-shaped like HDMI is, or what is it? Because I would think mini DisplayPort. Because that's the only mini visual thing that I know of.
But it literally says HDMI. I will.
That's so I don't know. I don't know mini HDMI. I've never heard of that. Ooh, that was a lot of monies.
Where's that going in Improvision? What the hell? I'll just link it to you directly in Discord. Select a channel.
Let's see. What did I say? Yeah, controller and HDMI. That's pretty much the big ones. Controller and HDMI. All the rest of the stuff I could probably throw money at the problem over time. I do have a super fast drive that I ended up not using for stuff like I intended. It was supposed to go in the mini, but Ulrich didn't quite install it.
Yeah,
So,
my old box was the from when I lived in Colombia. So
oh wow. So,
Yeah.
like decade and a half old.
yeah,
I would probably play this game. Might play City Skylines.
yeah. No, my video card was like 6, 7 years old, but it was pretty close to top. It was like one step below top of the line when I got it way back when. So
Oh, Jam is
I
still
was able
around.
to-
Jam asks, did you hear the 4090 will be 2 to 4 times more powerful than the most current powerful NVIDIA GPU? I heard something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like ridiculous, and I'm scared of that price point though.
I mean,
But
The-
then again, mining rigs are basically useless at this point. So
I will say, benefits to technological advancement. You should probably be able to find a video card that is now at this point like 5 years old, and it should rock you really good for most of what you want to do.
oh yeah,
Which is kind of where I've been staring. Because
Yeah,
like
the price
I could
was
drop the money at
finally
any
dropped
point
what
to
they should have done.
I could drop the money at any point to make a nice like PC box from scratch if I really wanted to, but the thing is, one, I've already spent so much money on this setup and basically gotten no payout for it. Like, no offense to everybody who's watching and subscribing, but like, I'm making like $100 a year. So, not including the Patreon actually, but
Yeah.
the
But,
Patreon is
but-
like $600, less than $600 a year. I have achieved Stuttgart. We are in Stuttgart. I have discovered it. But like, the main reason I'm not building a PC box is that as janky as my current Windows setup is, it's running all the things. Well, okay, all the things except for Trigun. It could not run the Trigun demo, and it chugs like a anything trying to stream Ark Survival Evolve. But besides those two games, Ark, which is massively unoptimized, and Trigun, which might be massively unoptimized. Oh man. But it runs everything else. And to be fair, it only runs games somewhat poorly, if you want to describe it that way, because of the streaming aspect. Like, it has no trouble running Cult of the Lamb at ultra settings. Though to be fair, when you knock Cult of the Lamb down to low settings, I don't really notice a difference, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Like I can play Elden Ring at. I can play it at ultra, but then I'm down to like 20, 30 frames. Unless there's a lighting effect that just tanks it, because Elden Ring definitely was not optimized.
Elden Ring is scary. Jam says, what's your friend's GPU? I assume they mean Captain Soja? Captain Soja, what is your GPU, if you don't mind saying?
I've got a Radeon RX 6700 XT.
Well, there you go. I've lost track of video cards because I've had Macs for long enough that I can't upgrade them.
Yeah.
Can I need to... Here, get me this. There we go. Recruitment agency. Barely leave my lane for a second. Get back over here.
Yeah, because I think it's my first
Mercedes-Benz.
Radeon card I've had.
Mercedes-Benz truck dealership discovered. Alright, we knocked those question marks off the map. Do 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 do. Part of me wants to figure out if I still have my super old 2.2 million population SimCity 4 save file, and if I could somehow get that running in like a Windows XP box or something. I would be absolutely lost at this point because, let's be honest, City Skylines has supplanted SimCity and also gotten so old it needs a sequel. So,
I was gonna say, I think I still have my discs for SimCity 2000.
somewhere I have discs for SimCity 2000 and 3000 and SimCity Classic and Sim Farm.
Or maybe I'm thinking 3000. 3000 might be what I had.
Yeah, you love 3000. You're probably thinking 3000.
Okay.
I think your go-to was 3000.
Yeah.
Molly says, also, this intersection is destroying your frame rate. Why do intersections do that? Molly, it's really weird, but something about the streaming of the Truck Simulator games, they run worse the slower you're going.
Yeah.
If you are stopped, they drop frames. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like throwing processing power at traffic at that point or what.
If
Like,
I had to
you're
guess,
not driving. Let's build a bunch of traffic that we don't actually care about.
yeah, that's I was gonna lean on exactly what you said. Like if I had to guess, it would be, oh, the player isn't making traffic despawn or needing them in the mirrors or something like that. Like so, we can populate all the traffic around them. So we do is my best guess. Because, you know, if you're sitting at a stoplight, sometimes you just get wave after wave of vehicles coming at you. And you're like, what the hell is going on?
Where did all these cars come from? Yeah.
Okay, so you actually want me to get... okay, so that part was unclear. So I had to actually zoom in the mini-map that time.
Oh, that's cool.
That needs...
Jar, what kind of game development are you looking into?
Oh. I'm also dipping my toes back into game development. Yeah, what type of game development you're looking for? If you need a story writer, I am hireable. Just because I would like to make income doing something that I like.
All right.
Or at least something I'm good at.
Yeah, you said Velvet just got you the RPG Maker, right?
Yeah, man, that is like just a smorgasbord of work sitting on my table because I think I've explained a couple of times what I want to do, and what I want to do is like a cross between top-down Metal Gear Solid, Assassin's Creed, and Breath of Fire. Like that, I want to do something that's that. If you can imagine a game like with sneaking elements and transforming into a dragon and having like maybe late game like...
I know people would probably watch you working on that on stream. I know a lot of people just stream they're working on something.
Yeah, because that game is... That game would be stream friendly. This other game that I've been working at for a while is not stream friendly due to content.
Yeah.
So, but that game would be like the most raunchy that game would be like Mass Effect style, and even so, I'd be in like pixel art. So we never got raunchy in Final Fantasy Tactics. Otherwise, that would probably be my go-to.
Yep. Texas was so wholesome.
No, it wasn't.
You know,
You were a heretic. What are you talking about?
the wholesome heretic.
Jam says, I think I want to make a stealth game, but I can't think of what it would be about or anything. Oh, well, see, there you go. I am also wanting to make a stealth game. I know what I want mine to be about. I even know the title of the game.
And there's lots of stealth game or stealth ideas you can throw into, you know, just throw game play around.
Yeah, I can't name any stealth games made in RPG makers. Like, that's my problem, is like all the stuff I want to do is unique stuff I'd have to figure out how to do in, I think JavaScript is what RPG Maker lets you insert in.
I think so, yeah.
And I have been intending to learn JavaScript because I can use it in both my games, actually. I can use it in the web development game as well.
Huh.
But now it's like, it's kind of like the gauntlet has been thrown down, bitch, you have no excuse. That's kind of where I am now. I'm like, oh no. The expensive thing that was the bottleneck that like, oh yeah, someday if I end up with this or the next version, you know, maybe like I could do that. And then Maiden's all like, guess what? Giant Christmas gift of Christmassy. And I'm like, what? Oh god, I have it now. What do I do? Oh shit.
Yeah, I've heard Unity's pretty good too.
Yeah, but
development stuff.
a lot of fun games have been made in Unity. I think Shovel Knight was made in Unity. Amazing game. If I was gonna do
I think it
Ultra
was,
Wolf,
yeah.
I'd probably make that in Unity. I have many games in my head. I have many fleshed out games in my head. Not just like game ideas, but like things that are sitting on my hard drive with like design documents so I can keep track of like character knowledge, because even before my memory started getting as bad as it is now, I was like, even if I come up with cool shit, like the worst thing you can do when you're trying to do game development or anything creative is to be like, oh yeah, that's such a cool idea, while you're laying in bed at night and you're like, yeah, that'll be great. There's no way I'll forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Little did they know it would be forgotten by morning.
It's gone. And the only way I know that's definitely true is when I'm put in a situation where I come to realize, wait a minute, I've already thought of this and it was awesome the last 2 times. I need to write this shit down. And then I started writing shit down. Hey, it's 60 here. Go. What are you doing? Jag off. I'm gonna go 40 up this hill. I'm gonna go a lot less up this hill because I'm a giant truck. Could you go faster? What the fuck is your problem?
Right.
Oh, let's see here. Jam says, I think if I ever joined a team, I would want to do coding and all that, but that's bad because I have to choose what engine because different ones sometimes use different languages. Well, I can help you out on that front. Here's the advice I've gotten from several people who have coded things for games and otherwise. You can use the programming language you are most comfortable with. There you go. That one will make a game. Whatever programming language you are most comfortable with is the one that you should use to make a game. Don't try and fret over it too much. You can do all sorts of things with all sorts of systems, and while technically some systems are better than others, especially if you're making your first game, because your first game, it's going to be a beautiful ugly duckling. It's going to be your best attempt. Captain Soja was around for my first game, Maverick Hunter Fighter, the original. Like,
Yep.
it was a beautiful ugly duckling. I filled up the calculator memory space.
That was a calculator game at that, yeah.
Yeah, that was running in BASIC. That was TI BASIC. And, and I could probably still do it today because you know what? BASIC is BASIC. And I know most of, like, I would just, a couple of quick Google searches and I'd be, like, already programming for the calculator again. Done. But, yeah.
Rogue Legacy is a really good example of, just make your first game because it's probably not going to be amazing.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy is... I've heard amazing things. I've heard so many good things about Rogue Legacy 2, which basically all amount to, okay, now that you have this game, you can stop playing Rogue Legacy.
No,
like, it's not
I mean,
like...
because they have the paintings in Rogue Legacy, and a lot of those paintings are their old games and such that they made.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's
well...
like,
we could talk about the early
much
leaks of Grand Theft Auto 5 just came out, and one of the things it did was developers started going, oh yeah, this game of ours that you love? Look what that shit looked like 3 years before it came out. And I'm like, yes, exactly.
Yep, and some games are just, one step from shovelware. But, you know what? You knocked it out. Go you. You did it.
Oh yeah, mine was a text-based fighting game that had 12 enemies, or was it 16? And then random mav.
Yep, like 16 and random mav. Good old random mav.
Random mav was roguelike before I even knew what rogue was.
Yep.
But you know what? The thing I will always hold on to is there were people in school who were playing my game, who I saw playing my game, who I didn't know. I didn't put the game on their systems. They got it from somebody else. That game was passed around, and I'm just like, I hold on to that for all time going, no, I got it. I just need to fucking do the thing, and I got it.
I was going to say, you had people playing that game that actively disliked you.
You know what? That is quite true. Yes. And that is a great little lifetime achievement you can put on the list. People who hate you are like, man, this fucking thing's fun. And I'm like, yes, thank you.
Like, I don't know who made this. This is a fun game.
And to think it all started by and here's a fun one if you can do it, which I mean modern day I don't know if it's as easy to do, but like the it's how I learned how to program web pages also program web pages. I'm sorry, code web pages. Which is I started making that game by gutting another game and changing variables and title screen things and making animations and stuff like that. And after I did that for a few months, I realized I knew how to handle every part of the game and that there were inefficiencies in the design. And so I just started again from scratch and from the cutting room, like just everything I had left on the cutting room floor because of the way the old game was designed that was messed up. I just made the entire game again from fresh, and it was better than it had ever been. But you know, I partially taught myself that by taking apart like a child might do to any other piece of tech or something like that. Hey, Bon Voyage 27 of 31. I haven't been having said how many. We're trying to hit all the places in the game actually. Where is hold on. Where am I?
Yeah, Hutterman made a game back in high school for the TI calculators.
Yep, TI 85 and 86.
Yep. Like no monetization, just it was fun, and eventually made it around pretty much the entire school.
Yep. And that was...
Hell, I think it was played year over year, too.
Yeah, well, because... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Huh. Ooh. Yep. Just far enough behind you, like, what's the problem? Oh, that's the problem. Let's see.
How fast was I coming down that exit? That's not common. Okay, so that's my first rec. Most of the things have been speeding tickets up to this point.
Right.
But you know what? I'm a rich person. What do I care? Your minivan will be fine. I mean, your SUV will be fine.
I mean, if the only drawback for committing a crime is a fine, it
Yeah,
doesn't apply to you.
exactly. Molly says, made a My Little Pony interactive screensaver in school for a brony friend, and after a few weeks I started seeing it on everyone's computer. Even the IT teacher used it because he was proud that someone had made something from his teachings from scratch. That sounds amazing. That's wholesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. It's always super cool when you do something and then it gets picked up by other people. Like, the only thing I've ever had to happen like that, got monetized by someone else that ran my idea up the company food chain, and that kind of pissed me off, but...
What was the thing? Was that a GameStop thing, or was that a... Or can you probably not say?
When I worked for Samsung, some of the stuff we implemented in our store, our boss was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm really glad y'all did that." And then ran up the food chain and became, national stuff, and helped her move up the food chain. I'm like, "Oh, give us that shout out?" "Oh no." "Oh look, national newsletter." "Oh, boss came up with this great idea." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Ooh, yeah, you completely ripped us off." "Well, we were on company time when we came up with the idea."
Yeah. That reminds me of at Clemson University when I was doing technical support, I ended up working on their webpage stuff. And when I was showing, I was asked to like have a meeting where I could show people how to like do webpage stuff. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's really easy. You do it like this." Little did I know, I would not be rehired.
Yep, you trained your replacements.
I did. Granted, I looked at that webpage from time to time, and it became shit.
Yeah.
But it was passable enough that somebody else who wasn't me got to keep that job.
Well,
Same thing happened with Town of Ithaca, New York, actually.
Also do that job.
They're like, "We don't really
People
think
have
you're
jobs
doing
like
anything.
that
We could just
before.
post a webpage this way ourselves using whatever WYSIWYG editor that leaned on Internet Explorer." I'm like, "Yeah, but if you do that, you're going to have a whole bunch of people who are using Netscape Navigator and stuff, like way back in the day, that are like just not going to be able to view this webpage." They're like, "Oh, we don't really think that's going to be a problem." And then they found out. They fucked up. Oh, you're doing that thing where you kind of like pull into the intersection and stop and then kind of make me feel bad. I don't know if it's Europe where people are like stop to let trucks go through. I don't know if that's a thing. Because I'm like, nobody in America would stop. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Molly answering how long I'm going to stream for. Yes. I try and do a minimum of 4 hours. We're at 3 hours, 10 minutes right now. But I got Captain Soja here, and then worst case scenario, I can end up with the news. I'm actually wondering if at some point, like, I can, the window's open next to me, which is good for the cool air, but it's also letting me know the wind is picking up. So, I've got a hurricane on the way.
Doesn't have work tomorrow because they don't want to run his truck in the wind.
Yeah, well, Shenanigans is down in Charleston, so she didn't have school to teach today or tomorrow, and everyone up here is very, very upset that she's not escaping the oncoming hurricane by coming up here. Like she looks like she's gonna, unless they get mandatory evacuation on her, she's gonna try and ride out the storm. And I'm like, I got a bad feeling about this, but okay, like, this is your call.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my kids are doing e-learning tomorrow, so they'll be school from home.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Anderson's school district is doing, is you know, they're out risking buses and such with the high winds. They're like, oh yeah, like 30, I think I said like 30 miles an hour is the equivalence of 500 pounds getting pushed against the side of the bus. And since we might have 40-mile-per-hour gusts, they're like, you know, it's enough to flip a school bus. So, no.
Well, good call on their part.
Yep. Don't let the bus get flipped with it being full of kids.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true everywhere in the world. I would imagine it is, but buses do not have seatbelts. You wouldn't want to be flipped even if you had a seatbelt, but I'm just saying, it's more problematic if you don't have a seatbelt.
Well, seatbelts aren't safe on a bus, basically, so...
I always imagine, like, somebody getting tied up in a seatbelt or something is why they don't have them on school buses. Otherwise, I don't know why. Why are...
Because they'd only be lap belts, and then there's a chance a kid could, you know, get stuck in it. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Padding on the, you know, seat in front of you has all the extra padding. Because generally the bus shouldn't be going fast enough that, you know, you're flung hard. Even though it's got enough mass.
Oh, I will... Dirty Jam, I don't know where in the world you are, but my intention is to be streaming the next 2 days at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is a casual stream, meaning that I'm just streaming for however long I feel like at this whenever time. But tomorrow I'm going to start with Tetris Effect Connected. I have not finished the campaign, and it is currently winning in the poll that I believe you voted in earlier. And...
I remember when they started advertising Tetris Effect a while ago.
Yeah, Tetris Effect was a long time ago. But then when Tetris Effect Connected came out, which was like the multiplayer upgraded version of that game on the, I think on next gen, but it came out on Game Pass.
You could have up to like 16 players or something, or like 100 players, right?
No, that's Tetris 99.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if it still exists, but Tetris 99 is definitely like my number 1 or number 2 Tetris.
That game can get insane.
Oh yeah, man, when talking about like what works as a battle royale, I remember distinctly naming Tetris as one of the 2 games. I was like, no, you don't understand. Battle royale Tetris, like battle royale Tetris, doing that multiplayer level, like sending debris at other people and picking how it goes and like who you're focusing on and like all the stuff that they implemented in that game. I'm like, yes, do that. That would absolutely work as a battle royale Tetris. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, I get video games, okay?
Man, I do battle royale Puzzle Fighter. That'd be really tough though, because those patterns dropping different
I think what would be more likely for
really be
Puzzle
rough.
Fighter. First of all, let's just peruse that someday we could possibly get Puzzle Fighter 6 Turbo. That would be amazing. If that could,
I keep thinking about picking up Puzzle Fighter again. Do they have that on Steam? Look.
yes. I want to, man, seriously, Captain Soja, if you pick that up, that would be a game that we could play together, because the thing that's the only reason I didn't pick that up to support Darkstalkers and Puzzle Fighter, the only reason was that it didn't have crossplay. Like, that's it. If I knew that it didn't matter which version I picked, and you know what, I know amongst just my friends that is like a core reason many of them didn't get the game. Like, of the ones who didn't pick it up, that collection was not having crossplay, because in this day and age, you don't want to spend money on a game that you're like to play with other people that you're not going to get to play with other people. So, crossplay is the wave of the present.
Can I play with other people?
I mean, you can, just not crossplay. You can play with other people on. If you picked it up on Steam, you can play with other people on Steam.
Because apparently it's like $4.
Wait, what?
Yes, it's a DLC for the free arcade for Capcom Arcade.
Oh, I'm talking about Capcom Fighting Collection, which just came out, which has 5 versions of Darkstalkers. You should be able to watch the next couple of streams. That'd be cool to have you. Oh, I missed your line before that. The language, I think that the language that Unity and Unreal use aren't the same, but are based off the same thing, so it'll be fine if I use Unity to move to Unreal later. Yeah, sure. I mean, you wouldn't want to move in the same project. Jam, I think you voted in the poll with exclamation point vote, but if you didn't, please consider doing that. But also, if you haven't followed the channel, you could follow the channel. You get notified when I go live.
Yeah, on Steam, only Puzzle Fighter that came up was the DLC.
Yeah, you're looking for Capcom Fighting Collection. It was
Okay,
like
all I could find was Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, and that's got Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
yeah, Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo is also in the Fighting Collection, which also includes 5 different versions of the various Darkstalkers games. And
Fighting Collection. There
4
it
other
is.
fighting.
That's
There you go.
$40.
Yeah, $40 new. But all 10 games have online play. But what they don't have is crossplay. But if they get crossplay, that's going on wishlist for me, because I want to play Puzzle Fighter, because I want to play Darkstalkers.
All right, let's see what it comes with. It comes with
Quite a lot.
one of their most popular arcade games, one of a collection, full featured online modes, first timers welcome. It has a museum with illustrations you can unlock and everything. Okay. Titles included: Japanese English versions.
Oh yeah, Japanese and English versions.
So, Night Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I played the hell out of that in the arcade.
Yeah.
Night
And I believe that
Warriors,
is actually
Darkstalkers
that these are all the arcade versions also.
Yeah. Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge. Good.
Which would be a game we didn't get. That's Darkstalkers 2.
Yeah. And then we've got the Vampire Savior 1 and 2, as well as Vampire Hunter 2, which is Darkstalkers Revenge, but the Japanese version.
I believe Vampire Savior is our Darkstalkers 3, I think. And then
Super Gem Fighters Mini Mix.
And Minimix, right? Minimix is in there too. Good call.
Cyberbots, which gets referenced in Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. And something called Red Earth.
Ah, Red Earth, yes. Those are some old Capcom fighting games when Capcom used to make fighting games that were not Street Fighter. Bon Voyage, 28 of 31.
Yeah, I had my wish list, but honestly, there's only like 2 games on there.
I mean,
I'd play Super Gem Fighters.
let's say Super
for
Gem
that.
Fighter, Darkstalkers 3, and Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, so because I have no interest in the Street Fighter games. I wasn't a. They never did it for me.
Well, they got other Street Fighter collections, so yeah.
But they only got the one Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, which is a lot of the Street Fighter 2 stuff.
I believe that is the last version that came out for Nintendo Switch, yes, with the 30th Anniversary Collection. That should have the last two characters, Evil Ryu and Violent Ken. I don't know why they, after all these years, decided to add characters who were palette swaps, rather than something cool like taking a Street Fighter 4, 5, or 6 character and making them sprite work. That would have been pretty spiff, adding those characters. But I'm just saying, it seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, or I could spend less than $4 and get the just get Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
I mean, right, but your 360 still works, right?
Yeah.
Well, I picked up Puzzle Fighter for you on 360. You just plug it in.
Did you?
Yeah, I got it for you for a birthday one year. Because it was Puzzle Fighter. My thing is, if that new version with all those games, first of all, I want to support Darkstalkers, obviously, because I want a Darkstalkers 4, but putting that aside, if it had crossplay, I could just drop into matches and play Puzzle Fighter against maybe some people I could actually beat, unlike you.
Puzzle Fighter, everybody thinks it's so hard. No, you just gotta play it on a non-color TV against the hardest setting of the computer.
Look, you. Alright, I get it. It's your Tetris. I understand. My Tetris is my Tetris, and your Tetris is Puzzle Fighter.
Then it gets tough.
He's not making that up, everybody. I want you to understand. Green and yellow look very similar in grayscale.
Very similar.
Very similar. Oh no, that's green! Yeah, man, that's totally green.
Boom. What? It didn't break. No, it was yellow. 5 seconds later, chain. It's okay, I fixed it.
Captain Soja used to play video games on a black and white floor wooden frame television.
That's because the color went out. I still wanted to play Puzzle Fighter.
Oh, that's right. It was the same TV, wasn't it? It used to be a color TV, but it stopped being a color TV.
Yeah. Sometimes it was color. It just cut in and out. But yeah. That was fun.
But you know what? And to be fair, that should exist in a Super Puzzle Fighter 6. Like, that should exist as a challenge mode. But can you play the game in grayscale? like that should absolutely be a challenge mode.
Grayscale mode? Yeah. Come on, guys. Let's do a tournament in grayscale mode.
Of course, if you're doing Puzzle Fighter today, you'd probably do a little Puyo Puyo, where like the different colors were like slightly different shapes, so that people who were like had color issues, they could still play the game. That would be a good quality of life thing.
Oh yeah. I want to say they were slightly different shapes.
I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I think they were all gems.
Well, I feel like well, yes, but I feel like they were still a little bit different. But maybe not.
When I drop off this cargo, it's going to tell me this achievement progress, and I swear if it says 1 of 3, I'm going to internally scream.
Oh, nope. Those blocks are all exactly the same.
Exactly the same. That's why you had a hard time. That's why it was challenge mode, because you couldn't really. They were like the same.
Yep. It's all about the bliss of the bombs, baby. Yeah. 99 incoming. 99 countered. 99 outgoing. No, it's not. But I just cleared. There's no way for me to break things to get rid of it. And then the
Doom.
Oh no, I've got like 3 blocks I can drop, and then this. Come on, I just gotta have these numbers change. So good.
Just asking them where they need it. Okay, so each recording was about an hour, I think.
Let me check that.
Oh, I have miscalculated how far I need to back up.
Wow, I have so many more hours in Slay the Spire than I realized I did.
That I believe.
Yeah. I got 83 point.
I had a lot. I didn't realize. So one of the things that gets me about roguelikes is one, I love them. Two, I'm bad at them. And three, they are much more like weighty on my brain. Like they're stress to do them when I'm because you know you gotta everything's coming at you. Everything's coming at you like Cleopatra. Like you gotta pay attention when you're doing a roguelike. And I was like, I gotta stop playing Rogue Legacy a little bit because I'm playing too much of it. It's just gonna take forever to upload. And I'm uploading. I think Rogue Legacy is almost done uploading right now. And I only have like 26 episodes, which isn't 26 attempts because some attempts are very short because I died. It's more than 26 attempts. But like, I felt like I played that game solid for a month. And I have little to show for it. And I haven't even beaten the second damn boss. I think what I need is more people who are making roguelikes to have more scalability to difficulty, because clearly I love the type of game, but I'm not good at them. Alright, achievement, give it to me. Progress? Turkish Delight 1 of 3. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, that's one. Fuck. Oh, I have no more upgrades on my level up. Okay. Wow, we are at 7th. We're at 7th. Okay, so I'll start with the upgrades in the next recording. All right. For anybody who's watching, whoops, I have pressed the wrong button. For everybody who's watching later on YouTube, I would like to thank you for watching. Or we would like to thank you for watching. This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2, presented by Improvision Entertainment. I have been Hunterman.
Yep. Thank y'all for watching. I'm Captain Soja.
And we will see you in the future.